for the Michigan Wolverines to get back on the field after a disappointing loss, their first of the season, to Michigan State a couple of weeks ago. And we are a minute away from kick here in Ann Arbor. And how will the Wolverines respond against quarterback questions and challenges to man up in the trenches this time around? College football presented by 5 Hour Energy today from a sold-out Michigan Stadium, where the Wolverines come in number 18 in the BCS standings. Are 6-1, taking on a Purdue team that's fresh off an upset of Illinois, looking for back-to-back ranked wins for the first time in 11 years. I'm Beth Mullins, along with former Oregon head coach Mike Bellotti. Shelley Smith is also with us today. And Mike, as always with the Wolverines, the featured performer today is Denard Robinson.
Well, he's the most explosive player in college football, and they want the ball in his hands. In fact, they want him in the game even if the ball's not in his hands. They'll play 2 quarterbacks today, but he's so explosive. He can throw the ball well, but he's making a transition right now to the pro passing style of Al Borges' attack, which has resulted in a little bit less completion percentage.
A lot of questions last week, or 2 weeks ago. We saw Devin Gardner in the game. We expect to see more of him today at quarterback.
Well, they want to limit the hits that Denard takes. His productivity declined last year, the second half of the season, because he got beaten up. So they're going to let Devin come in and put Denard in some other places, even take him out of the game at times just to give him a rest.
We will not see them initially, as Purdue, for the second week in a row, has won the opening toss, and they will receive. They want their offense on the field. They put together an impressive first quarter last week in their upset of Illinois.
That's an aggressive posture. They may not want to give Denard the ball.
From the 11-yard line for Purdue, and Akeem Hunt out across the 30. 29 yards on the return. Let's check out the starting lineup today for Purdue offensively. Ralph Bolden, he will share that tailback spot with Akeem Shavers today. Justin Siller caught his first touchdown pass of the season last week. He may also run some Wildcat. Seniors Dennis Kelly and Nick Mondek will help the Boilers crank out nearly 200 yards per game on the ground. Can they do it today against a vastly improved Michigan defense from a year ago? And the end around to get it into Edison's hands, and he'll get out close to the 40-yard line, pickup of about 8.
Immediately challenging the perimeter defense of Michigan, which is what Michigan State did so well a couple weeks ago. Purdue is going to go up tempo, it looks like, also because they want to take the defensive coordinator out of the game.
They had been playing 2 quarterbacks for much of the season. Last week it was all Caleb Turbush and no Robert Marv, and Turbush out there to start, to O.J. Ross for the first down and more down the sideline into Michigan territory. They'll mark him out of bounds back at the 48, a pickup of 12.
Big play, not quite as big as he wanted to be. He gets down there and steps out of bounds right there. Is off to the races. They're going to continue to attack that perimeter till they stop it.
And the handoff, and they'll run right into big Mike Martin right in the middle of that line. Ralph Bolden, the ball carrier, and Martin, the captain and all Big Ten performer from a year ago.
Purdue coaching staff really excited with the development of Caleb Turbush. His maturity, he's getting to make better decisions, take better care of the football, and knows when to throw it and when to run it.
On 2nd and 10, out of the gun for Turbush. Incomplete. Out into the flat. Looking for Gary Bush. How about for Michigan defensively? They'll be strong inside. We've already called Mike Martin's name. He, Rowe, and Van Bergen, 3-year starters. Jake Ryan has 2 of the team's 14 fumble recoveries this year. Kenny Demmons is their leading tackler. And a shakeup in the secondary. Jordan Kovacs out with an injury. So Woolfolk moves to safety, and true freshman Blake Countess gets his first start today. On 3rd and long with 4 receivers, they'll run the receiver screen for Bush, and he's got the first down and more. Inside the 20, the foot race for the end zone, and Purdue strikes first from 48 yards away.
The jailbreak screen, here you see it happening right here. Great blocks down the field by Foy. Breaks him, and this is what Michigan had prepared for. They knew it was coming, they just didn't know when.
Danny Hope told us the other day on the phone we need bigger plays out of our wide receivers. And they just got their longest passing touchdown of the season. Caleb Turbush to Gary Bush, and a 7-0 Purdue lead. Well, an impressive start as Purdue tries to nail down back-to-back wins against ranked opponents. And just like we saw against Illinois, impressive on their first possession of the game.
No question. And Purdue talks about every week they want to get the fast start, and this is as fast a start as they've had. We've seen they scored 3 out of the first 4 possessions last week, and that was really important for them, for the confidence. I think it started at Penn State. They played a very close game, played great against a difficult defense, and I think from there they've really felt good about themselves as a football team. And
a big challenge now for Michigan, as Michigan fans know all too well, the last several years after a Michigan State loss, that's when the wheels started to fall off the Michigan bus and their seasons went south.
And from a defensive standpoint, there's so much improved this year, from 108th in the nation to much better now, leading the nation in fumble recoveries. But they've got to do something on defense right now.
Danny Hope with a terrific start. 4-3, 2-1 though in league play. On the return for Michigan out to the 30-yard line. Octavius Odoms on the return. A new regime, of course, this year at Michigan under first-year head coach Brady Hoke, the former assistant here at Michigan before he headed off to Ball State and then out west to had some success at San Diego State before returning to Ann Arbor.
You know, Brady doesn't talk about anything but the players. He is truly a player's coach. He just cares about what's important to them.
Michigan will open up in the I formation. Fitzgerald Toussaint, the deep back behind Stephen Hopkins, who gets the start at fullback. And Toussaint's got some space. Finds a gap off the left side out to the 45-yard line and a 14-yard gain.
And right back at you. Michigan also going to test the perimeter defense of Purdue. They're pretty good inside. Kawan Short had a really great football game last week, named player of the week, because he stuffed up the inside stuff. They're going to go outside with their power game.
Now this is what Brady Hoke and offensive coordinator Al Borges have been looking for all year, is a standout at tailback. Their quarterback, Denard Robinson, by far their best rusher this season. Mishandled, and Robinson will try and make something from nothing. He's as good as anybody in the country at that, and he picks up 5.
We've talked about this. That's the most dangerous play in football, when he drops the ball or when he changes the timing of the play, when he's back to pass and then has to run, because he is so dangerous and so fast. Dan Ferrigno, the tight end special teams coach, told me that Denard Robinson is faster than Deshaun Jackson. When you know how fast, if you watched him go in the NFL, he is an immediate explosive playmaker.
And Robinson is at the bottom of your screen. He's lining up at wideout, Gardner in at quarterback. Robinson in motion. He'll take the handoff, and he loses his footing and loses a couple yards.
This package, they have expanded that package with Gardner at quarterback and then Denard at the motion back. They can run the fly sweep, they can run a fake, they can throw the ball. Either quarterback can throw the ball, so it really puts a lot of pressure on the defense. 3rd and 6 now is an obvious pass situation, but with the speed of the quarterback or the creativity, they can run. You got to stop the quarterback run. They probably will be in zone here, because they talked about keeping an eye on the quarterback. Zone defense allows you to watch the quarterback at all times.
Robinson and his receivers spent a lot of their bye week trying to improve their connection. He's at 54% passing accuracy this year. And this throw on the money. And the forward progress good for the first down to the Purdue 41 to Junior Hemingway at a 10-yard gain.
When you see this stack, this is a formation that really allows the defense not to hit the guys. They get free releases, and you don't know how they line up, so it's hard to decide, how am I going to take who? What leverage do I have on those receivers? Advantage offense.
They'll send Hemingway and Roundtree to the top this time. Toussaint offset in the backfield on first down. Robinson pumps left, throws the other way, almost into the arms of linebacker Joe Holland. Offensively for Michigan, well, Toussaint will start at tailback, but they are really looking for some consistency out of that spot. Roundtree Just 12 catches on the year, but one of them the game winner against Notre Dame earlier this season. The offensive line anchored by senior David Moak. He's an all Big Ten performer. They want to make amends for the 7 sacks allowed to Michigan State a couple weeks ago as Gardner is back in at quarterback. A touch for Robinson, the give to Jeremy Gallen on the reverse to the 30-yard line, and another Michigan first down. Joe Holland on the tackle.
You know, it's interesting. Coaches always try to be the first guy to run the fake play. Here you can see a reverse. They said Denard Robinson occupies so many people on defense. Eyes go with him, and again, it sets up the reverse type play to use the defense's aggressiveness and their consideration of where Denard Robinson is. Where's Waldo? Where's Denard Robinson? You got to know, and it takes your eyes with him.
There was a flag thrown.
After the play was over, personal foul. Offense number 77. 15-yard penalty. 1st and 10.
That is Taylor Lewan, the 6'8" sophomore out of Scottsdale, Arizona.
Who is one of the toughest guys on the team, and Brady Hoke loves him because of that toughness, but you got to keep it from snap to whistle.
He was also on the receiving end of that swing from Golston of Michigan State a couple of weeks ago. The Wolverines were on the receiving end of a handful of personal foul penalties in that game. Robinson to the air, and the catch by Hemingway to the 40.
One thing you notice with Denard, when he is able to stay on rhythm, he's a very accurate passer. When he's gotten in trouble this year is off of play action, and when he's on the move, he doesn't set his feet. He tends to lose the quarterback fundamentals, but give him rhythm throws, the quick 3-step drops. He's doing very, very well. It's one of the things that Al Borges said. I was very impressed with him when I got here, the way he can throw the football.
A lot of Devin Gardner on this first Michigan possession. On 2nd down, he's back in at quarterback. Denard Robinson to the top of your screen, now in motion. They'll pitch it the other way to Vincent Smith. And he will be close to that first down marker, wrapped up by Albert Evans. Let's go down to the field now and Shelley Smith.
Left tackle Taylor Lewan appeared to tweak his knee during pregame warm-ups. He was tended to by a trainer. They worked on his left leg. It's something to keep an eye on, but the head trainer, Paul Schmidt, told me he didn't even know about it. I had to tell him about it. That's how unconcerned they were.
Thank you very much, Shelley. And the depth on the offensive line is a big question mark for Michigan.
Yeah, he can't be hurt because then Schofield, who is sort of alternating, he's the backup for every position. They're really thin right now with scholarship offensive linemen.
Just 8 scholarship linemen, about half of what Brady Hoke says he would like. Robinson to the air. Gallen got a nice block out there. He's inside the 20, the 15 to the 11. 23 yards on the strike from Denard Robinson. And a lot of Gallen footwork. And Hugie with a nice block.
And watch how this times up. The receiver actually sells the thing coming downfield, which allows the tackle to get there to set the block. The action goes away, which draws the rest of the defense, and then it's off to the races.
Michigan has been good in their first possession. The last 4 games they have scored on their opening drive, and now the 10th play of this drive that started back on their own 30. They'll put Roundtree in the backfield, and now in motion. Toussaint takes the pitch, scampers inside the 5, cut at about the 3-yard line by Albert Evans.
And this is the power running game. They want to take the ball out of Denard's hands a little bit, one, to protect him. Purdue likes it. Purdue wants him to take the ball out of his hands too. But the problem is right now they're getting beat by the power running game of Michigan.
You get the feeling here, Mike, that a Michigan offensive line that was a bit manhandled against Michigan State wants to come out and make a statement here today against Purdue.
They got punched in the face last week. The only thing you can do is wait to your next opportunity to get back at the opponent.
As Brady Hoke said, we lost the fist fight. When we flinched, we've got to bounce back.
And he also said Michigan doesn't flinch.
2nd down, Smith. Wrapped up by Ryan Russell.
Vincent Smith, I love him. They list him at 5'6", and I'm not sure he's that, but they say he's one of the toughest guys in this football program. Not the offense, the entire football program. I love him, averaging almost 7 yards a carry. I think he hides behind that big offensive line.
A Michigan team that is number 11 in the nation in third down conversions. Has a big one here. Design run for Robinson to the goal line and in. Robinson's 10th rushing touchdown of the season, following big Patrick Omame up front.
Very important for the Michigan psyche, team, fans, everybody, to answer Purdue's opening salvo. Quarterback run, design quarterback run, power play. You really don't have an answer because you pick up an extra blocker when the quarterback is the ball carrier.
Extra point is good from Brendan Gibbons. And for the 5th game in a row, Denard Robinson engineering a Michigan scoring drive on their first possession. Decent in the air on the drive, finishing it up with his footwork at the goal line.
College football in high definition is presented by Vizio.
Welcome back to ESPN College Football, presented by 5 Hour Energy. And both offenses striking early. Denard Robinson and Devin Gardner both with a hand in that impressive drive for Michigan. 18 of their 35 scoring drives this year at 70 yards or better, and that one was right on.
You know, because that's the reason they've done that. They're so good on third down. They're over 51% successful on third downs, which keeps those long drives alive.
Well, kicks it away and into the Purdue end zone. They'll have it at the 20. Let's check into the studio now to Wendy Nix.
Beth, thank you so much. It's a Dr. Pepper 10 conference update. Michigan State completing a brutal 4-game stretch. This game on ESPN, but it's Nebraska Cornhuskers who strike first. Rex Burkhead plunges it in, 7-0 Nebraska. And Indiana now leading Northwestern 7-3. About 9 minutes to play in the first quarter. Beth?
Well, Wendy, that was we were calling it ominous October back in September, but they have done a fantastic job getting wins in those first 3 big games. And now the early lead today. And Purdue, the handoff out to the 24-yard line to Ralph Bolden. Something we're going to be watching today. The fumble fight going on. A Michigan defense that forces a ton, Mike, and the Purdue running backs that have not lost a fumble all year long.
Absolutely. And, you know, most coaches will tell you turnover takeaway is the biggest determining factor in winning and losing football games.
Purdue, they like to run these receiver screens. That's to Justin Siller. Craig Rowe on the tackle.
One of the other reasons for Purdue wanting to get the fast start is to quiet the crowd. They're really worried about the noise level in here. If this crowd gets going, it can interrupt or disrupt their no-huddle speed tempo offense. That's probably why they're huddling right now.
Not only different tempos, but traditional and non-traditional looks where their running backs and tight ends line up. And how about this? The Wildcat with Siller. And he keeps it, and he's thrown back down at the 20-yard line.
Great job by the Michigan defense in terms of their eyes, keeping their eyes on where the ball is. You can be faked out by the moving guy, the speed motion, and the quarterback just kept the ball. They want Siller. Siller is the guy they think today for Purdue has to step up, has to be the unsung hero so far.
Jeremy Gallen is deep. Cody Webster had to kick it away. One of the top punters in the country, 46-yard average. And that one's going to be short. Gallen will stay away from it as it takes a Purdue bounce or two inside the 40. Denard Robinson and company coming back with it.
Just watch the eyes of the Michigan defense as you see this. Everybody focused on the ball carrier. Thus, they are able to stop it before it gets started.
ESPN's College Football is presented by 5 Hour Energy, the no-wait, no-hassle way to a great morning. Visit 5hourenergy.com. And in part by Timberland Earthkeepers. Nature needs heroes.
The Wave Field, which is an earth sculpture designed by the same artist, Maya Lin, from Michigan, by the way. She also designed the iconic Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. And for the 236th consecutive game, a sellout here at Michigan Stadium, over 100,000. The biggest house in college football. And for the Wolverines, Devin Gardner back under center, and the give to Toussaint. He's wrapped up after the short gain. Ryan Isaac hauled him down.
You know, Al Borges, I think he's done a great job so far. I'm not sure that Denard Robinson hasn't lined up about 50-50 at quarterback or some other position. You're seeing him lining up at tailback, lining up at wide receiver. They're really spreading him around. He's still a weapon because they can get him the football, and he can do a lot of things with it.
You saw Borges, the offensive coordinator, looking at that board. He's actually got 2 of them, as Robinson is again lined up, this time in the backfield, not under center. That's Gardner again. They'll use Robinson as the decoy, and Smith is going to throw it downfield for Gallen, and it's broken up by Albert Evans.
That was actually a great pass, because that pass was very well thrown. At least gave the receiver a chance to catch the ball, despite very good coverage from Purdue. They didn't get fooled by this. Belly toss. Now one-on-one, and Vincent Smith buys time, throws the ball very, very well. Just get up, make the play.
In the next couple of years, Borges and company, Brady Hope, they want to get back to the Michigan slug you in the mouth type of offense. But while they've got Robinson and a smaller team from Rich Rodriguez, they are incorporating a lot more of those spread concepts. Robinson now back at quarterback, feeling some heat, passes away and caught at midfield by Roundtree, and a first down and a 12-yard gain.
You know, I think Robinson is sort of feeling it today. He's throwing the ball very well, very accurately. Even though this one is tipped, this is a key third down conversion. We talked about earlier. They are so good, 51% successful on third downs. This ball is tipped. You see the receiver come across wide open, but he does a great job. He's already 4 out of 5 for 51 yards in limited time at the quarterback position.
Robinson out of the gun this time. Back into Purdue territory. On the rollout. Robinson gets it to Jeremy Jackson for the pickup. Well, another terrific feast of college football games for you today, highlighted by that Stanford-USC game coming up tonight at 8 Eastern. That's where game day was this morning, and that big quarterback duel with Andrew Luck and Matt Barkley.
That's 2 great quarterbacks, although Luck throws to tight ends and Barkley throws to wide receivers primarily.
Those are some good-sized tight ends they've got at Stanford. Robinson going to keep it. Runs right into Kawan Short, who is playing exceptionally better over the course of the last couple of weeks in the middle of that defense. So the other quarterback to watch tonight on the networks is Taj Boyd at Clemson.
He's come up in the Heisman race now. He's done a great job. I recruited him out of high school. I thought he'd be very, very good. In his first full year starting, he's done some amazing things. I think they compared him to Cam Newton. He's equal to what Cam accomplished last year. So he's going to be a factor if Clemson continues to win.
Joe Tessitore's Heismanology has Luck still at #1, but Boyd making a big jump in this week's Heismanology. On third down, Robinson to the air, intercepted. Joe Holland got it at the 39. That is the 11th interception of the year for Denard Robinson.
You know, Holland is a veteran player. There's no question about it. He lines up. I believe he's right there, and over 72 right here. Right here. He's really inside. That's clear.
Oops, there he is the other way. Holland able to come up with it. That's been a bugaboo for Robinson. Throws an INT about every 14 passes this year.
ESPN.
A spectacular fall day here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Out on the quad, the leaves have turned to a nice maze for the folks in this area. And off the turnover now, the interception from Denard Robinson, and Purdue has it back for Caleb Turbush. They'll utilize a receiver again, Graves Sandy. Well, the reverse out across the 40. Joe Holland, the linebacker, had been lurking and then finally got one, Mike.
Yeah, Joe Holland said, fool me once, but you can't fool me twice. Here you see him breaking on the ball early. He's a veteran. He started 42 games, but here he sits inside. You can see him right here, and then jumps out, plays the quarterback's eyes, does a tremendous job of laying out, baiting the quarterback, throwing a very small window.
Turbish this time will throw it to Graves Sandy. Stays in bounds out at the 46. It will set up third and a couple. J.D. Floyd with the tackle.
Holland again leading them in tackles this year. Tremendous career as a leader on the football team. But this is 3rd and 2 is a great situation for the offense. Tough on the defense. You don't know where they come. They can run it for 2 yards easily, but you're worried more about play action or the big play, the explosive play. You'd rather give them a first down than a touchdown.
They'll give it to the fullback, Crank, wrapped up by Rowe, and he won't get to the marker. Let's check in with Wendy Nix.
Beth, thank you very much. It's a Taco Bell studio update. Northwestern and Indiana, both of these teams still looking for their first Big Ten win. Kane Coulter here, 29 yards to Jeremy Ebert, and Northwestern leading Indiana by 3. Beth?
Thank you, Wendy. As Cats are trying to end that 5-game losing skid, Indiana also has lost 5 straight. Purdue forced into the punting situation. Gallen again, it will not reach him. And the Boilermakers unable to take advantage of the turnover. Michigan will have it back, tied at 7. 1:16 to go in the first. Back here at Michigan Stadium on a homecoming weekend in Ann Arbor. And the Wolverines have the ball back, tied at 7 with Purdue. A couple of teams that are 2-1 in the league. Michigan in the Legends division, a game behind Michigan State. Purdue in the Leaders division, 1 down in the loss column to Penn State. They're playing in the snow against Illinois today in Happy Valley. Bernard Robinson under center. He's been splitting time with Devin Gardner in their first couple of possessions. Toussaint, not a whole lot of room there as Purdue wins the battle on the perimeter that time. Ryan Isaac again on the bottom of the stack.
Michigan State jumped up their huge win over Wisconsin last week. Big challenge, but Michigan hanging in there, 6-1, 2-0. When you're only 1 out in the loss column, you still feel like I've got a chance.
Michigan, not that they'd ever root for Michigan State, but certainly rooting for Nebraska in that game tonight, and hoping they can get the win, and then everybody at the top's got 1 loss. And if you can get a 3-way tie going at the end of the year for Michigan, they would have a chance with the tiebreakers. Robinson going down, tracked down by Gerald Gooden.
Gerald Gooden is at his best when he's got a chance to come off the edge. He can chase people down. You want to run at him because he's a speed guy. You run at speed. You don't run away from it. That's the problem when you run away.
6 sacks through their first 6 games. They had 4 against Illinois last week, and now Gooden picking up another one in what may be the final play of the first quarter. All even at 7. Second quarter when we come back. Tied at 7 as we get set to start the second quarter here in Ann Arbor. On a beautiful autumn day, the Wolverine getting set to bare its teeth a little bit here, hopefully for Michigan fans. They've got their work cut out for them on a 3rd and 20 from their own 12-yard line. Robinson on the rollout. Stepping up, down the sideline, Roundtree got behind the defense. Down to the Purdue 38-yard line. 50 yards
You know, they do two things with this. They had the stack, but they also move the pocket to buy time. You got third and long, very long, so you got to find a way to protect the quarterback first. They do it by moving the pocket, then a very accurate throw on the run. Receiver able to have time to develop the route.
Now Robinson is in the slot near side with Gardner under center. Faking. And Gardner intercepted at the 5. Josh Johnson with the pick.
That
Two
looked like
INTs today, one by Robinson and one by Gardner.
That was more confusion. I will tell you that the quarterback thought the receiver was going somewhere. He put it up. The receiver was not on the same page. And as we do that, Purdue with the second turnover got a chance now to add to this.
Back at Michigan and a couple of interceptions. Brady Hope trying to encourage Devin Gardner a little bit after his first interception of the season. They've been +7 takeaways, but 2 giveaways, one by Gardner and one by Robinson. Purdue taken down in the end zone, and the safety and a flag as well.
Holding. Offense number 67. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a safety.
Turbush sacked in the end zone. Mike Martin got him. Ooh, he also got him by the mask.
Yeah, and that probably should have been called, which would have negated the safety and negated the penalty. See, he gets great penetration. That's one of the issues down there, trying to throw out of your own end zone, but grabs him, physically grabs him and takes him down by the face mask. That's hard to tell how the officials missed that one, but that's not a reviewable thing. Understand, the people upstairs don't look at that.
Big push from Mike Martin. You like to say he's got violent hands. What do you mean? He threw dry right to the side.
Well, guys can come in and use their body weight, but when they strike the hand like a boxer, it's all about the speed of that hands and the punch. And guys, the great defensive linemen have violent hands, have great punch, great strength that they can extend through the offensive lineman.
His good buddy that he faces every day in practice, center David Moak, says he's slippery. He's just hard to get and keep in front of you.
And that's a huge break for Michigan. They made it. They turned the momentum around. You turn the ball over. You get it back now. They're going to get good field position off of this kickoff from the 20-yard line.
Rare that you can get points off of your own turnover, but give Michigan 2 there after the interception. Latavius Odoms in some good field position here for Michigan. Lost his footing out to the 40.
One of the things Michigan talked about improving is their special teams. They know right now they're not as good on special teams. A penalty on the field, we'll have to see what happens with it. But every time Purdue takes the field, their advantage is special teams so far.
After the play was over, personal foul, kicking team number 29, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Like Purdue, all season long, it's been a chore for the coaching staff to try and put a clamp on the penalties, but a big one there. And for Michigan, the first safety since 2003.
Yeah, and that safety, as I said, the one thing, too, about penalties before the snap or after the whistle, those are the ones that stick in a coach's craw because those don't need to happen. Sometimes in the heat of the game you do it, but before the snap or after the whistle are the ones that both coaches and players are most frustrated by.
A 7-0 lead for Purdue, and then a long Michigan drive, followed by a couple of interceptions that didn't end up hurting them. And then Martin with the safety. Here's the handoff to Toussaint, busting into the secondary, and inside the 30-yard line, leaving a couple of injured Boilermakers in his wake.
Michigan certainly has the momentum right now, and Danny Hope from Purdue talks about that fast start. He wanted to take the crowd out of the game. Right now, Michigan seems very energized and is controlling the line of scrimmage. They want to, now, I'll tell you what, they got to translate this into a score, though. When you get a turnover like a safety, you've got to convert it. Besides the 2 points you get, the field position has to translate to a touchdown.
Toussaint looked like he was shaken up on the play. He will go out. Smith is in. He will be the lead blocker for Denard Robinson. Slips on the cutback. May have gotten one. Well, with just 4 races left, Carl Edwards looking to maintain his points lead as NASCAR heads to Martinsville. NASCAR countdown presented by Napa will get things started at 1 o'clock Eastern. Some credit to Lewan, Barnum, Moak, Omame, Hughie getting some good push up front. That offensive line for Michigan. Smith stays in at tailback. Inside the 25, it'll take 4 Boilermakers to get him down at the 22. Ricardo Allen, the first guy there.
We had talked earlier about the quarterback situation, and Devin Gardner threw the interception. Brady Hope talked. One of the things you want to find out when a quarterback makes a mistake, was it just a bad throw? Did it come off your hand wrong, or was it a bad read? So we can make sure we're seeing the same things on the field. They're trying to coach up those guys on the sideline, make sure that they understand that the coach and the player are on the same page.
3rd and 4. Gardner and Toussaint stay on the sideline. Smith at 170. The coaches say pound for pound, he's the toughest guy on the team. He's in motion in the backfield. Robinson will keep on the option. Ball pops loose at the tail end of the play, and it was whistled dead at the 20, which would be short of the marker. Dwayne Beckford with a big pop, the middle linebacker, along with Logan Link.
Yeah, he's definitely down. There's no question about that. I think the real question is, they just kick a field goal. Is this a fake situation? 4th and 2. I think Brady Hope going to choose to put the points on the board.
Brendan Gibbons is long this year, 38. This will be from 37. Trying to take advantage of the good field position after the safety. Puts it through. 12 unanswered points for the Wolverines and a 12-7 lead.
100. ESPN's College Football, brought to you by Lexus. It's time to engineer amazing. And Walmart. Save money, live better. Walmart.
One of the fountains here on campus, that's Triton and his sons are on a holiday excursion here in Ann Arbor. After giving up the first touchdown on Purdue's first possession, Michigan has rattled off 12 straight, including a safety by Mike Martin, taking down Caleb Turbush in the end zone. We're now off of the field goal. Short to Purdue. Mostert out across the 25 to about the 28-yard line. 21 yards on the return. And that is where not Caleb Turbush, but Robert Marve will take over as he makes his first appearance in the big house.
And the Purdue coaching staff is committed to playing 2 quarterbacks. They've had so many injuries. They want to make sure that their number 2 is always ready. They also, Robert Marve was a starter at one time for them, got hurt. They like his arm. They like the way he can read coverages and throw the football.
Did not play in the Illinois game, and that was a coach's decision because Turbush was on a roll. Bolden is the deep back. Marve. Going to be a flag for a face mask and a completion out across the 40-yard line. Crosby Wright, the tight end, to pick up a 15.
That was definitely a face mask, but the official also, that was a makeup call for missing the face mask in the end zone. See right here, as he comes out, he's in trouble right now. Luckily, Ryan grabs a face mask, but he still has the wherewithal to complete the pass, which Marv is a veteran. He's played a lot of football, both at
Personal
Miami
foul,
and here.
face mask, defense number 90, 15-yard penalty, first down.
and here at Purdue, and they like what he brings. It's nice to bring a quarterback off the bench that is a veteran that you really have confidence in and believe can provide a spark.
So they will get a 15-yard pass reception and then tack on the 15 face mask. But it's a first down Purdue at the Michigan 42-yard line. Holding inside the 40. Dives to the 35. Here's Wendy Nix.
Beth, thank you very much. We check on Vanderbilt and Arkansas. Vandy with the 7-0 lead until Brandon Mitchell with the equalizer, the 4-yard touchdown run, tied up now 7-7. 3 minutes to play in the first quarter. And on ESPN, Nebraska pitching the shutout over Michigan State, 10-0.
Jared Crank on the carry. He ran right into true freshman Desmond Morgan, getting his second start of the season.
Crank is their fullback, but he's not truly a fullback. He's sort of a hybrid back. He can carry the ball. At the end of the game last week, they trust him. He was the guy running the clock out at the end. No fumbles, keeps the ball in bounds, keeps the chains moving.
Also a dangerous receiver. He's got 2 catches this year, both of them for touchdowns. Third down, Boilermakers.
Huge third down for momentum in this game.
Marv steps up. He's going to run for it and dives to the 30, and he's got it. The 5th-year senior out of Tampa, the transfer from Miami, was hurt last year. And now coming off the bench this year. Here's Crank, right up the belly. Dashes him for double digits, following Rick Schmeig right up the middle.
That was a nice job by the Purdue offensive line. That was a hole. Again, they're trying to keep them off balance a little bit, sort of a draw type play, get them to start their initial pass rush, and then use that to open the hole.
14 yards on the pickup for Crank. They are winning the fumble fight thus far. They have not turned it over against a Michigan defense that is #1 in the nation, with 14 fumble recoveries through their first 7 games. Incomplete, intended for Gary Bush, who caught the touchdown in the first quarter. Their best cover guy, J.T. Floyd, was there.
And J.T. did a great job because you've got a bunch set on the other side that requires everybody's attention. But Floyd had a little bit of help because he really broke well on that ball and then stripped the receiver, which you asked the DB to do. Michigan
is without its biggest playmaker in the secondary, Jordan Kovacs, sitting with an injury today. Marv wisely tosses that one away. 3rd and 10 coming up.
Yeah, and that's tough. Marv, the veteran, throwing the ball away. He wanted to save the distance, keep him in easy field goal territory, but also try to get to a manageable 3rd down. 3rd and 10 is not what you want, but puts the defense in a little bit of a bind because they can still get a first down. So I cover for the first down marker or the touchdown marker 5 yards behind. You have to make a decision in terms of coverage. And the Michigan coaches like pressure versus coverage in this situation.
They try another receiver screen. It may have popped up into the hands of the DB, and it does. Courtney Avery gets the interception. And it was Ryan Van Bergen busting right up the middle to put the heat on Marv.
You know, the chess game of what you do on offense and defense. We think that Michigan's going to bring pressure. They call the screen. Unfortunately, a safe pass becomes a tip pass, becomes an interception and a turnover.
100.
Courtney Avery, who had an 83-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown in the Minnesota game earlier this year, gets the interception, and upon review, the pick will stand. There was no indisputable video evidence to turn it over. So Avery with the interception of the pass from Robert Marve that was bobbled by Justin Siller. And now Denard Robinson and the Wolverines back out there. They've scored the last 12 in a row. We've seen both Robinson and Gardner at quarterback today. And Fitzgerald Toussaint, who was injured earlier in the game, back out there, and he's got a first down pickup run out of bounds by Ricardo Allen after 16 yards.
Purdue's perimeter defense, or the edge of the defense, was non-existent on that play. And once you can start inside and people commit to taking on blocks, if you don't have a contained man, if you don't have an edge set on your defense, you're going to be in trouble.
What do you think so far of the some pro style, some spread, some Robinson at quarterback, some Gardner at quarterback for Michigan?
I think they're going with what they've got. Denard Robinson, you got to keep him happy, and you got to keep him where he is doing what he feels he can do. 80% of their offense is the spread offense. We talk about the fact that he is so dangerous when he scrambles. They actually are doing a good job of containing him. We talked too about the fact that Purdue is going to play a lot of zone defense, more than they probably would want, basically to keep their eyes on the quarterback and the ball.
There was a quarterback designed run as Gary Emanuel, the defensive coordinator for Purdue. They'd rather not see those quarterback designs. He wants somebody else to carry it.
That's exactly right. They want to take the ball out of Denard Robinson's hands. They had success last week against Illinois, taking the ball out of Shieldhouse's hands. They want to do the same today.
Al Borges, what did he say? The word intoxicating to be able to call number 16's number all day. And Robinson will go down to one knee there because there was a flag before the snap.
Offside. Defense number 99. 5-yard penalty. It remains second down.
Let's take a look back at our Liberty Mutual drive recap. 12 plays for 70 yards for their touchdown in the first quarter.
They did a nice mix of using Denard Robinson as a ball carrier and as a decoy. And the reverse to Gallon really set this thing up. Then they get back to the power running style that Brady Hoke really wants to get to and loves. But then they really, when it comes down to crunch time, give it to Denard, the guy that can get the ball in the end zone.
He averages 6 yards a carry, but so far today, 8 rushes for 4 yards. Toussaint on the ground this time, and he will get to the edge again across midfield as Howland runs him out inside the 45 to the 44 in a 16-yard gain.
One of the keys to perimeter defense is the correct pursuit angles, and speed can change those angles, as we see right here. This is just a flat-out foot race, which Michigan wins going to the sideline. Big gain, and they continue to do that. It's very, very difficult to play defense if you can't contain the ball.
2 carries for just 7 yards against Michigan State. Coming back strong today, 7 rushes, 72 yards. They have such a proud tailback tradition here. Last year, Robinson, the quarterback, the leading rusher for the Wolverines for the first time in the modern era, going all the way back to before World War II. And Robinson off the back foot, lofts it up, and it's caught by Gallon at the 5 and down to the 2.
This has been the type of pass that has this year got Denard Robinson in trouble. Throwing off the back foot under pressure. Here he does put it, though, outside, and Gallon, who has become the biggest playmaker for that Michigan receiving corps, bails him out, makes a great catch away from the defender.
First catch for Gallon, leading the team in receptions. That's a 42-yard pickup. No Gardner on this drive. Denard Robinson will stay in at quarterback. Toussaint, the step to the outside. And a Michigan touchdown and a flag on the play. There's going to be a face mask on Evans. The band won't even wait for the call. They're already into hell of the victors.
Ooh, that was a stretch your neck the wrong way kind of play.
Number 32. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. The result of the play is a touchdown.
Toussaint's 5th rushing touchdown of the year. This is out on the edge. Gallen and Johnson tussle a little bit, and Johnson grabbing onto the face mask.
Yeah, once you get locked up with somebody, you get to know him pretty well. It's either familiarity or contempt.
Getting into the heart of the Big Ten schedule around the Midwest, and things getting a bit chippy. But for the Wolverines, they're on a roll. 19 unanswered points. (19-7) here at Michigan. The Wolverines leading Purdue. 5:36 to go in the first half. Another sellout crowd here at the Big House. 19 unanswered points, including a safety by Mike Martin, and the most recent, the touchdown run from Toussaint. 247 yards of total offense already.
And due to the penalty, kicking from the 45, you may think they just want to kick it out of the end zone. They may try to want to hang this up and actually pin Purdue down inside the 20. You tackle them inside the 20, it's always a bonus.
And instead they'll blast away. Did they get the field goal?
If you make a field goal from that, it's not bad either.
Here's Wendy Nix.
Beth, thank you very much. Texas A&M trailing Missouri 14-7. Ryan Tannehill to Cyrus Gray, the 12-yard connection. It's Gray's 9th total touchdown this season, and we're all tied up in the second quarter.
Thank you, Wendy. Through the end zone and through the uprights on the kickoff. That would be a real penalty if you got the points after the face mask. 19-7, that Michigan defense back out on the field to face Robert Marve, who will stay in at quarterback. He and Caleb Turbush have taken turns today. Right into the flat. Bolden out of the backfield and to the 24-yard line. J.T. Floyd with the tackle.
And this kickoff is with the wind, but as you see this, it goes right through. That would have been good from a ways out. If you could only kick off a tee on some of those field goals.
Nice boot from Wiley. This is a defense that has made tremendous improvements. They were 108th in the country last year in total defense. And then the new regime coming in with Brady Hoke. And off the defensive coordinator Greg Madison out of the NFL. And after the short gainer, it will be 3rd and 2.
Interesting. I wonder if Caleb Turbush is healthy, because they have not. You usually give Marv a series. We're giving him 2 series here, and I didn't think Turbush did anything wrong. Maybe he got hurt on that, or they got his head yanked in the end zone on the safety.
Not only is he not wearing the helmet, Mike, he's not even holding the helmet over there on the sideline.
And when they take a helmet away on the sidelines, that may be some concussion symptoms.
Marv to Boltman. He's got a couple, and a couple more for the first down out across the 35, and a flag on the play. Tackled by Avery.
Purdue's got to create some momentum. They can ill afford another penalty now.
Holding. Offense number 86. 10-yard penalty. It remains 3rd down.
That's the tight end, Gabe Holmes.
And they may have missed another face mask in that tackle. It's hard to see sometimes when they gang up. But Michigan's certainly playing very physical today. They got out physical their last game. They certainly want to make up for it and prove that Michigan doesn't flinch.
And especially the cornerbacks. All they've heard the last 2 weeks is about their poor perimeter defense against Michigan State. On 3rd and long, Marv steps up and steps into trouble. Mike Martin, his 2nd sack today.
But Martin there, 68. He's just, look at him knock those guys around. He's beating 2 guys, not just 1, but 2. That's the kind of physical power he has.
He almost looked offended that they threw a running back at him to try and block there, and Ralph Bolden, who he tossed aside. Another punt that will not get deep enough to reach Gallen, and Michigan in good shape again. They'll have it close to midfield after the 36-yard punt from Webster. We'll get another look at Denard Robinson. He's on our list of dual quarterbacks in the Big Ten, Mike.
And wow, has this conference changed. You look at guys like Persa, Martinez, Kane Cole, two guys on the same team. And the reality is a mobile quarterback now is such a weapon. And the Big Ten has many of them, including Denard Robinson, maybe the best in the nation.
Most of those guys we see really good with their legs. It's the arm that's a problem. 54% passing for Denard on the year, but today he's 7 for 9 with an interception. And here he is using those feet into the secondary and down the sideline, and he will avoid the hit at the 24.
Maybe the fastest guy on the field. They said he's a 4.3. They said even if he's a little dinged, he might be a 4.4, which you would take. But the reality is, he reads the papers too. He says when people said he can't throw or he's not doing as well, that's something certainly he's going to work on. Everybody knows he can run. Everybody knows what he can do with his feet. He's out to prove that he can also do it with his arm.
9 of each today, rushing and passing for Robinson, with the 1 touchdown. Under center, out of the eye. Toussaint. Smacked down by Bruce Gaston.
And Beth, you mentioned it earlier, we haven't seen Devin Gardner since the ill-advised throw that took it in there, but he's coming back in right now. So he's served his penalty box time for turning the ball over. And also the coaches have confidence. They want to instill confidence. He's the backup quarterback. He's a playmaker for them. They want to make sure he continues to play well and trust them.
Robinson down to the bottom of your screen with Gardner at quarterback. Again, he's used as a decoy. Smith inside the 20. Let's check in with Wendy Nix.
Beth, thank you. Coming up at the half, we've got a big showdown in the Big Ten. We'll take you out to Lincoln, plus Todd McShay and Robert Smith are here with our Saturday setup, including what to make of the remaining undefeated teams in action this afternoon. Beth?
Thank you, Wendy. Well, Vincent Smith, you never know what to do when the ball's in his head. He can throw it. He's thrown a touchdown pass. He's run for one. He's caught one. We saw him attempt a pass earlier today.
And 3rd and 3 opens up the entire playbook for the offense.
Smith is in there next to Denard Robinson. Denard calls his own number. Gets inside the 15, and the spot looks like it'll be good enough for a first down. And it is.
One of the things with mobile quarterbacks, you're running the Wildcat every single down, which means that the defense has to account for 11 guys.
We'll take a 30-second timeout and be right back. Michigan in the red zone. First and 10, Michigan. They've scored 19 unanswered points. They're knocking on the door for more from the Purdue 13. An interception on the stat sheet today for Robinson. That's the one blemish. Otherwise, he's been strong. Looking to the air and to the end zone, and almost picked off again. Josh Johnson in position in front of Roundtree.
Yeah, not great on that touch pass. That's got to be over the top to the corner of the end zone. He underthrew that a little bit. They're scoring 90% of the time they enter, but it's touchdown 77%. You see right here, great chance for an interception. The offensive player has to become a defender and knock it out. Roundtree frustrated, wanted that ball up over the top.
Why do you prefer the short drop, the 3-step drop for Denard?
Well, because it keeps him on rhythm. I think the longer he has to sit there and think, the more he loses his passing posture.
Trips to the left. Robinson looks to the right. Now back to the left. In the corner. Overthrows Junior Hemingway.
I understand the play action passes down here. I also understand the drop back. I just think that it's hard because Al Borges and Brady Hoke want to run a pro-style offense. They're trying to make that transition. The reality is you've got Denard Robinson. You've got to give him a run-pass option on the edge more often.
It was a play action pass on that 4th down late against Michigan State that they were unable to convert. 3rd and 10 here for Denard. Got his man inside the 5. They need to get inside the 3 for a first down. Brandon Moore. Spot will come up shy. And deja vu for Wolverine fans. A 4th and short. We'll take another 30-second break and be right back. Brady Hoke looks like he's going to keep his kicker on the sideline here, Mike.
I think it's either put him away or wound him. He's decided to try to put him away. You've got 45 seconds, 1 timeout. You can do anything you want to do, but you got to get the first down, obviously.
Putting some faith in his offensive line. He wants them to be physical today. They've got an opportunity here. 5 of 8 on the season. That's short. You may not even take it off the line of scrimmage. Robinson straight ahead behind Moak, and he's got it. 5th-year senior captain David Moak leading the way.
The shorter the distance on 4th down, the more likely you are to go quarterback sneak and not take it off the line. It's going to just use the surge of that offensive line. They want to get there. Somebody's hurt, though. 52 looks like limping around right now, Ricky Barnum.
Barnum had come in today nicked up. Did not start at left guard. And he's really fighting to get through this play here on 1st and goal. Robinson on the delay, and he will lose yardage, and Barnum was pushed back into the backfield.
You know what, down there they should have substituted. He should have laid down on the field. Officials would have stopped the clock. If you can't go, one of the things you have to do is lay down. And we talked to our guys. He really can't do anything. He gets pushed way back, destroys the timing of the play, and unfortunately, he's unable to play right now. Now, one of the things is their depth at offensive line is very much a crucial item. Lawan, we talked about, tweaked his knee a little bit in pregame warm-up. Schofield is a backup at every single position. But he can't play 2 at once.
Unfortunately, it was Kawan Short, one of the top DTs in the league, on the other side. Okay, let's check the clock here, and just 10 seconds left, Mike, on 2nd and goal, and your options with Denard Robinson.
Well, you can do this. You can take 1 shot in the end zone. It's got to be a pass, incomplete or touchdown, and then you kick the field goal. So you're telling them that you cannot take a sack. You cannot be tackled inbounds short of the line.
Robinson today, 12 carries, 35 yards. He's 8 of 12 throwing the ball. Out of the gun was Smith in the backfield. Roundtree by himself, wide right. Robinson flushed into the back of the end zone and out of bounds with 3 seconds left on the clock. Big push from Gerald Gooden, who already has a sack today.
Gerald Good knew it was going to be a pass. He knew he could pin his ears back and just come after him, and he shook Denard out of the pocket. Denard did a great job, though, of having that clock in his mind, say, I've got to throw it at a certain time. I've got to make sure my guy catches it or nobody catches it.
Brendan Givens good on a 37-yarder earlier. This one will be from 22.
Brendan Givens to attempt the field goal from the 12-yard line.
And that one's good. After Purdue took the opening drive of the game down to score, Michigan comes back with 22 unanswered points and 294 yards of total offense in the first half. And a 22-7 advantage. An impressive turnaround for Michigan. And Purdue's Danny Hope is now with Shelley.
Coach, what is the status of your quarterback, Caleb Turbish?
He's fine. We're going to put him in, let him play the second half. We wanted to get Robert Marvin in a game. That was part of our plan coming in. You know, obviously we had a bad play down there in the red zone, which kind of changed the complexion of the game in the first half.
So you're committed to 2 quarterbacks in the second half as well?
I didn't say that. To the first half we were committed to.
All right, how do you change motivation? How do you get it back?
We got confidence in our football team. We got to come out and play a little bit better. We got a lot of good plays. We haven't called some of their play action pass and some of the deep balls. They've turned the whole field over on us.
All right, thanks so much.
Thank you, Shelley. Both the offense and the defense scoring in the first half for Michigan. Now let's get you to Wendy Nix in the ESPN College Football Halftime Report.
Late night.
Welcome back to ESPN College Football, presented by 5 Hour Energy. And the Michigan Wolverines leading Purdue 22-7. 22 unanswered points. Denard Robinson, 70 more yards himself than the entire Purdue offense through that first half of play. And Purdue, which won the toss, received, and scored on its first possession, now will have to give it to Michigan here to start the third. Artavius Odoms with 1 foot in his own end zone. Across the 30 to about the 32-yard line. And we saw a pair of quarterbacks in that first half for the Michigan Wolverines. We did see a little bit of Devin Gardner, but the majority going to Denard Robinson. Had the 1 interception, but otherwise pretty solid.
Yeah, threw the ball very efficiently. They're very balanced offense, but the difference is they're able to run the football. Purdue can't run the ball, and Michigan took advantage of the takeaway and the safety to score 12 unanswered points. Purdue's got turnovers, can't get any points off.
The stout Michigan defense, they had 2 turnovers for Purdue, but they were unable to score off of either interception. Robinson had 1 and Gardner had 1. Toussaint now to the 35, picks up a couple. And Toussaint getting close to 80 yards on the day. The keys to this lead, and a big rushing advantage, and a whopping 9.5 minutes in time of possession.
Both of these teams want to run the football, and running the ball today is going to determine the winner. So far, Michigan way in advance, way in the lead.
That left side of the line, we saw Ricky Barnum get hurt late in that first half. He is out still at left guard. Michael Schofield is in. They will run that way with Vincent Smith across the 40 to about the 42, and then the late flag coming in. Josh Johnson on the tackle.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
There have been a lot of face masks today, and actually some that have not been called, and part of it's just sloppy tackling. You've got to make sure you see and know where the face mask is. You tackle, you put your helmet on the football, and you grab cloth. You don't grab mask, and again, you don't teach it that way, but sometimes in the pileups, it's very hard just trying to take a guy to the ground. The second and third guys are trying to come in and strip the football, and unfortunately get a hand on that face mask.
5 penalties for 60 yards now for Purdue today.
That matches their season average. I think they're at about 61 per game. They don't want any more.
Robinson the give to Toussaint for the short game. Let's go down to Shelley Smith.
Well, the sun is shining, but it's raining a little bit. I talked to Brady Hoke on the way out at halftime. He said he told his 2 quarterbacks not to worry about the pick. He said Devin Gardner made a bad throw. Denard Robinson made a bad decision, and the kid made a good play. As for adjustments, he says when we get that close to the end zone, we got to score. How about that for an adjustment?
And how about Shelley with the adjustment? The sun shower right now at Michigan Stadium. Devin Gardner is in at quarterback. Robinson is in the backfield. They'll fake to Denard, and they'll throw it back the other way, and Smith has a lot of room and a lot of blockers. Moak taking care of one guy, and down to the 15-yard line for Smith. 26 yards and a first down.
Moak got 2 shots at his guy that time, but this is a throwback screen play. You get movement going one way, you pursue this way, throw back to the back and anything. You got great blocking down the field. This should have been a touchdown. They're very disappointed right now. It only resulted in a 20-yard gain. The blocking down the field, the toughest thing is a lineman trying to block a DB. You talk about 300-pounders trying to block quick 180-pounders. That always doesn't work sometimes in the open field.
Josh Johnson blocked once by Moak and was able to bounce back up on his feet to make the tackle. Robinson, the pitch to Toussaint. Nice cut to the outside, gets inside the 10-yard line to the 7. Bottled up there, Ricardo Allen, and a pickup of 8.
Right now, Michigan is controlling the line of scrimmage, whether they're zone blocking or pull blocking. They're outflanking the Purdue defense with their pulls. Their linemen are doing a great job, and the backs are having patience, which is really important. You've got to read those blocks on the perimeter because you can make a good play a great play.
Second down and a couple. Toussaint off the left side, cuts it back inside the 5-yard line. It'll set up a 1st and goal for Michigan. Well, we talked to David Moak and asked him how tough the film session was after they admittedly got manhandled by Michigan State. He said, you know what, it was tough to watch, but then it was re-energizing in a way because we were so fired up to get back out and prove ourselves against Purdue.
I think players are their harshest judges. That sometimes coaches try to do it in a manner that's critique but also support, and sometimes players just say, hey, we didn't play well enough, we got to do better, let's get back on the field. That's why they worked so hard last week.
They had some days off, but they didn't take them. The players did a lot of work on their own in the bye week. Robinson on 1st and goal. Toussaint met in the backfield and stuffed at the 6-yard line. Will Lucas, the outside backer, with the tackle, and a scuffle in the end zone after the play.
I think you've got a Purdue team that knows they have to win. Not that their season's on the line, but also you got a Michigan team that has something definitely to prove after last game, and it's going to be a physical nature. Guys are continue to play. And it's two guys typically they're just wrapped up with each other, and they're going to try to find, I want to win this. I'm going to put you on the ground before you put me on the ground.
Still 2nd and goal. They lost a couple. Gardner on the rollout, getting by the first man there, run out of bounds just shy of the goal line. Albert Evans on the tackle. Ryan Russell was in pursuit but could not grab Devin.
And Devin Gardner is a very, very explosive player. He might be a little shaken up right here. I'm not sure if he took himself out. He got hit there pretty good, but he also has the type of explosiveness and creativity from the running quarterback position that they really like. And that's why, despite what they would like to do, Brady Hook and Al Borges, in terms of a pro-style offense, they're still stuck with the spread option guys at the quarterback position.
We just heard Shelley Smith in her report about a similar 3rd and goal that they were not able to convert on at the end of the first half. Another one here to start the 3rd quarter. Toussaint straight ahead. Joe Howland, not surprisingly for Purdue fans, was the first guy there. They are short. It will be 4th down.
3rd and 1 is one thing. 4th and 1 is a whole different thing. And I will tell you what, just because I think I know who Brady Hook is, I think they're going for it. There's no question about it. He wants to prove the point here. See him sit there with his arms crossed, shaking his head.
Said, go.
The heck with this. Go get him, guys.
Robinson keeping all the way, and he's stuffed. A big defensive stand for Purdue. Dwayne Beckford, the middle linebacker, the first guy there, and they deny Denard Robinson. And they hold at the goal line.
I'll tell you what, they committed 8 and 9 guys in the box. They said, go ahead, dare you to throw it, but we're going to stop you. Bunch of hats. Purdue very fired up. That's the spark they need right now.
College football in high definition is presented by Vizio.
Ryan Russell for Purdue, Taylor Lewan for Michigan, both helped to the sideline after that big 4th and goal stop at the 1-yard line for the Purdue defense. They have been victimized once today by a safety, and now Caleb Turbush out of his own end zone, and they may be assisted by a Michigan penalty. Mike Martin was the guy who had the safety in the first half, and he made contact.
Offside. Defense number 68. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
Let's send it down to Shelley Smith.
All right, left tackle Taylor came off the field. He tweaked that same knee that we saw him tweak during pregame warmups. He came off the field saying, did we score? I don't know what happened. They told him no. He was very upset. They're looking at that leg right now.
Thank you very much, Shelley. Taylor Lewan, their starting left tackle, and what is already a very thin offensive line for Michigan.
Yeah, with Ricky Barnum hobbling around too. Elliot Mueller, I think, will be pressed in service, and they really have one other backup for the entire offensive line listed. So that was a very expensive play for Michigan.
All right, Mike, let's turn it around now to the Purdue offense. Last week against Illinois, 2 scoring drives of 80-plus yards. They need to make something happen here. They have not scored since their first possession of the game. Crank on the draw out across the 10. He'll be close to a first down for Purdue.
Beth, you're correct. For 2 reasons. They need to establish some momentum for themselves. They also need to keep the ball away from the very potent Michigan offense that rolled up 290-some yards in the first half. So it's a combination thing. They need points. They need points on the board, but they also got to keep the ball away from Michigan offense right now.
They came in here in 2009 and got a win. That snapped a 17-game losing streak for Purdue here at Michigan Stadium. Trying to get back-to-back wins here in Ann Arbor for the first time since the mid-60s. Turbush throwing downfield and incomplete. Now at the 21-yard line and a penalty flag down.
I think that was a free play. The defense was offside, so the offense gets a chance there regardless. They always tell you, throw the ball up. Try and get something on it because you know it's going to come back.
Defense number 53, 5-yard penalty. It remains first down.
Another good cast of characters in college football on the ESPN networks all day long for you. Oklahoma, Kansas State, Wisconsin, Ohio State, undefeated Clemson, undefeated Stanford, both in action tonight at 8 Eastern.
Can Oklahoma come back? I think it'll be interesting.
15 yards on this drive, 10 of them courtesy of the Michigan defense. Bolden gets bottled up at the line of scrimmage. Desmond Morgan, the linebacker, in on the tackle.
Greg Madison certainly does not want to beat himself. He wants aggressiveness up front. He has simplified some things. Coming from the pros, there's a lot of things he wanted to do. He realized there's not enough time in the week to prepare, so he simplified to allow guys to play faster, to get better pursuit angles. It's resulted in a lot more fumble recoveries, getting more people around the ball.
Turbush, incomplete, looking for Crosby right. J.T. Floyd was reading that one all the way.
Yeah, he threw that one into a crowd. I'm not sure that was a great decision. The coverage forced him that way, but he had to take a better idea of who to go to. You're still 3rd and 5, very manageable situation, but they really need a conversion here to get this drive going, create some momentum. Also, the ball's in the middle of the field. You have certain plays you like to call for the middle of the field to get maximum distribution to your wide receivers.
Turbush getting away from Rowe, drops it off to Siller. Out across the 30-yard line and a first down for Purdue. Good poise by Turbush to make a play and keep it alive.
Great point. Great patience in the pocket, because as it's falling around you, he steps up. He feels a guy coming off his edge there, and that's bumps on the back. We talk about that peripheral vision and knowledge. He steps up, finds a receiver crossing. Great job at converting the 3rd down.
17 yards to Siller. Short gain on first down. Bolden again with the carry.
Purdue is not getting the same productivity today from their running game. It's been their bread and butter, and all of their running backs have averaged 5 yards a carry. Today it's been more of a struggle.
Turbush to the air, and another Purdue first down. They keep the chains moving out to Gabe Holmes. Across the 45. That's Holmes' first catch today.
One of the first things they've gone to the no huddle. They want to get a tempo going, control the tempo, and use the tempo to their success.
Look at Edison, the wide receiver, in the backfield for a carry across midfield. Mike, I would think, too, as you get towards the middle of the field, you're driving, the crowd is quieted down. Is it not a little easier to run some of these spread, no huddle types of plays? You can hear a lot better.
Absolutely, although that was an interesting play. They had Edison taking the dive handoff. He's been an eye tailback, done some things for him, but that was the first time I've seen him take the dive.
Bolden. Again, the Michigan run defense awfully good.
And you may have noticed Michigan substituted some guys up front. The longer this drive goes, they want to keep those big guys up front healthy and still able to run. So they will replace them every 6 to 8 plays to keep the front guys fresh.
Just 47 yards rushing for Purdue, but manageable third downs that Turbush has been able to handle thus far on this drive. 3rd and 6.
3rd and 6, you got to make a decision. Am I going to throw for the first down or throw underneath and let him run for the first down?
Avery scooching in. They bring the blitz from the secondary, and the pass deflected. 4th down, Boilermakers. It was Will Campbell that got his fingertips on it.
We talked about how Greg Madison, in any situation, he would rather have pressure than coverage. He likes to put the pressure on the quarterback and clog the passing lanes. Mission accomplished there.
They like Campbell on those passing situations. At 6'5", can get that paw up in the air to disrupt. Jeremy Gallen back at his own 10. They thought about the fake, and now the rugby-style punt will go into the end zone. 49 yards on the punt. Michigan will have it at their own 20 after the runner from Carson Wiggs. Taylor Lewan, after getting dinged up earlier, back out there for the Michigan offense.
1st and 10, Michigan.
ESPN's College Football, brought to you by Toyota.
That is the block M. And our campus legend is if you step on that M, you will flunk your first Blue Book exam. Remember the old Blue Books from college? I wonder if those are still around in class.
Unfortunately, I do remember the Blue Books. I didn't like them very much. That was always hours of pain to me.
Oh, hated to see those come out. Denard Robinson back in action. He's under center for Michigan. He'll hand it off to Stevan Hopkins, the fullback, getting his first carry of the day. And now for today's game track, brought to you by Mobile Run. And other than the interception, not a bad afternoon for Denard Robinson.
No, it came out fire and was very accurate early. When they wanted to get in the end zone, they put the ball in his hands. He's the best rusher, although he's held a little less than his average today. And there's just been a lot of Michigan defense after that, shutting down the Purdue running game, forcing the pass, and taking advantage of field position and turnovers.
Purdue coming in averaging close to 200 yards rushing a game. They are sub 50 so far today at 47 yards on the ground. On 2nd down, Robinson out of the gun will give to Vincent Smith. Shimmies by a defender out across the 25. It'll be 3rd and about 3.
Josh Johnson on the tackle along with Bruce Gaston.
I tell you what, I'm not sure how he did that, but watch this little move right here. He's built low to the ground, comes through right there, and then just, whoa, look at that little shake and bake. I'll tell you what, that is pretty nifty.
Did you have that maneuver back in your days at UC Davis?
No. I did not have that maneuver. I never had that kind of hip flexibility, to tell you the truth.
The 3rd down play here for Michigan. Robinson, plenty of time. Good job by the O-line to allow him to deliver across the middle. Jeremy Gallen out across the 40 and a 15-yard gain. That's his 3rd catch today.
We talked earlier about the transition to the pro-style offense and the pro-style passing game. And this is a whole new passing game. It's a new terminology. So you got to think, and then the timing is going to be a little different. But when he can sit in the pocket and throw, very comfortable delivering the football.
We've seen him line up at tailback, at receiver. Where's he going now? He's headed to the top of your screen as the wide receiver with Gardner at quarterback. They'll use him as a decoy again. The flip to Toussaint. And he cuts it back across the middle. He's going to go deep. Toussaint all the way. Touchdown, Michigan. 59 yards.
Taking the ball out of Denard's hands is the very best thing for this Michigan offense. Down the stretch, they're going to play people to the key on Denard. Fitzgerald Toussaint, and this type of a run will give the entire team confidence that Denard doesn't have to be the only guy to carry the ball.
Inconsistent running backs this year. Who was going to step up? That was a question that Brady Hoke posed to us this week. Toussaint has stepped up today. A career high, buck 49 on the ground and a touchdown.
The
29 unanswered points for Michigan. Here are the latest 6.
Well, take a look at Taylor Lewan right there. The real key. He's been taken off the field twice. Once in pregame warm-up, once during the game. But he is healthy. They say he's one of the toughest guys. He helps create this. Initially starts the block on that side that frees up Toussaint. They don't allow him to make some great moves down the field.
Toussaint with the long-range run. That offensive line able to spring him. Last week, just 7 yards rushing for Fitz against Michigan State. 149 here today against Purdue. Raheem Mostert takes a good lick at the 25-yard line by Gordon. Well, coming up on ESPN later today, the 3:30 window, Oklahoma and undefeated Kansas State. And then the Big Ten showdown, Wisconsin, OSU, followed by also at 8, Clemson and Tech. And then Andrew Luck and Stanford going into the Coliseum to take on USC.
Taj Boyd, Andrew Luck, not neck and neck yet, but in the Heisman getting closer.
The Wildcat was Siller. The throwback to Turbush and then back to Siller. And down the sideline and into Michigan territory. Steps out of bounds at the Wolverines' 46.
A little trickeration here. You've got a whole group of receivers out here. Notice there's 4 of them. And the guy's lined up way deep behind the ball. So as he throws, that's a lateral. Now he's got this guy too. That's a decoy. They want to throw back to Siller the whole time.
After the 28-yard gain, the handoff to Akeem Shavers for a couple. Justin Siller is the guy who's from Detroit. This is his first time back. He was not with the team. He was academically ineligible back in 09 when they came here and won. And Siller arrived on campus as a dual-threat quarterback.
And they still line him up there frequently.
Turbush intended for Siller and out of bounds. Let's check in with Shelley Smith.
On Purdue's last drive, even though Michigan got the stop, defensive coordinator Greg Madison was furious with his defense for the 2 offsides calls. He says, we don't play defense like that. You should be disgusted with yourselves.
Well, that's tell me what you really think.
That's a good indicator of what Greg Madison told us yesterday. No matter how good we're playing, don't let them think they're too good, is what he said.
You want them to play with confidence, but not arrogance. So it's really a fine edge for a coach.
Thank you, Shelley. Siller again. Looking for some space. And we'll tuck it and scoot out at the 41. This Michigan defense, first in the country in fumble recoveries. They've been good in the red zone and giving up just a couple of touchdowns a game.
And compared to where they were last year, such an amazing turnaround. One of the other things, as you see this right now, they're going a lot of fake plays, a lot of trick plays because they can't beat Michigan going straight ahead.
4th and 5, and they're going to go for it.
Well, you recognize how many possessions you have in the second half, how many scores you're behind. And the reality is they want to talk about it, but I still think they're going to go for it.
Well, this is a big opportunity here for Purdue. They've been able to persevere and try and hang close. They'll need a big comeback right here on the road against Michigan. Will it be similar to the miracle game of 1971, Mike Bellotti? It's the 40th anniversary of UC Davis.
Yeah, back in the old days of black and white.
Look at
is that what I'm saying?
Black and white, reel to reel. Now you guys were down 16 with 20 seconds to go, and here you are making the catch to set up the game winner.
That's the last play. Did you guys speed that up? I think it was fast motion right there. I like it. I almost looked like I was quick.
You guys tacked on a 2-point conversion to win it. Even though you should have been flagged, I think, for your celebration after that.
I did throw the ball.
Touchdown.
It would have been tough. But this is an unbelievable deal here. We had 2 straight penalties, and then he throws up to his teammate, Bob Biggs, to Mike Everly. Great, unbelievable catch. And we won 16 points in 20 seconds. As a coach, I believed after that game, you're never out of it. It's never over till it's over.
Biggs, right? He's the current coach, right?
He is the current coach at UC Davis, yes.
The miracle game of 71.
5-yard penalty. It remains 4th down.
And that's not a good thing.
No.
You have a timeout, you come out on field, you have a play called. There's certainly something there that changed. I think they were maybe trying to draw him off sides, but the reality is now they're going to put the ball away.
This is Carson Wiggs, who got the running rugby style punt the last time. It looked like he was thinking about going for it. And straight booted away this time. Gallen with the fair catch inside the 15. 36 yards on the punt. Michigan will have it, and another look at the celebratory dance of collegian Mike Bellotti.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's a celebratory dance. I were all pretty fired up. Well, he almost missed me. I was looking to avoid the hit.
That's the most elusive play of your college career right there.
Oh, easy now, easy now.
Beth Bowens and Shelley Smith, along with former UC Davis standout and Oregon head coach and AD Mike Bellotti. Denard Robinson back at quarterback for Michigan. The give to Toussaint. Dwayne Beckford on the tackle, a 6-yard pickup.
And there's nothing more that Brady Hoke and Al Borges would like to do than impose their will via the run game on Purdue right now. They're 3 scores ahead. You want to run clock, you want to run the football. They want to establish their personality for the rest of the season. And this is a big step today after the loss to Michigan State.
Fitzgerald Toussaint, 17 rushes, 155 yards as a team, 234 today on the ground. This is possibly the last play of the quarter. Toussaint taken down at the 20. Will Lucas on the tackle. And that'll do it for the 3rd quarter here at Michigan Stadium, as Taylor Lewan, who has been nicked up all day long, slow to get up, he keeps coming back for more. That Michigan offensive line has been terrific so far today as we get set to head to the 4th. Welcome back to ESPN College Football at Michigan Stadium. The Michigan Wolverines, they have scored 29 unanswered points and a 29-7 lead as we head to the 4th quarter. They'll bunch up 3 wide receivers to the right for Denard Robinson to check out. And Robinson will tuck it and run. Albert Evans able to haul him down out around the 29-yard line. Good for a 1st down.
That's a great open field tackle because that's when he does his most damage. Obvious pass situation, drop back, the rush. He eludes the rush, and there's one-on-one in the open field. They talked about playing zone to keep the eyes on Denard. Know where number 16 is. Where's Waldo? Where's Denard?
Right now, Denard is under center. Toussaint is the deep back in the eye. Fitzgerald will get the carry. Wrapped up, but again, another 9-yard gain. Josh Johnson on the tackle. Here's the rest of the lineup for you today on the ESPN networks, including that big Stanford Southern Cal showdown tonight on ABC.
I guess when we talk about bouncing back, we should mention Wisconsin, too. That's a tough way to lose a game. It's a real gut check to come back out because it's hard to explain that one as a coach.
Lost to Michigan State on that thrilling last-second play, and now they are losing to Nebraska 17-3, the latest score. Toussaint to the 44-yard line. Good block by Stephen Hopkins. Michigan not only likes this score, but they like that Nebraska score as well, because if this score holds and Iowa wins later today, there could be 4 teams with 1 loss in the Legends division.
You're right. It's a dogfight, and that's just to be in it right now is very, very important. But every game then certainly added significance down the road.
Michigan is at Iowa next, and they host Nebraska later in November. All leading up to the inaugural Big Ten title game in Indianapolis in December. And Robinson slithers down the sideline inside the 40 to the 37. 19-yard gain for Denard.
Denard Robinson can outflank a defense going one direction and then another. Starts to his left, goes right, fakes left, goes all the way outside the defense, all the while picking up yards and the fastest man on the field.
It's been making decent decisions in their option plays today, hasn't it?
Well, you know what? I don't know if he can make a bad decision, because if he doesn't misreads it, he keeps it. I don't think that's bad.
Over 230 yards of total offense for Denard. He is responsible for 2/3 of the Michigan attack this year. Handoff and out into the open is Michael Shaw. The foot race to the corner, and he wins it.
Michigan touchdown, Michael Shaw.
Seven yards for the senior out of Trotwood, Ohio.
Danny Hope not very happy with the tackling in the secondary. But Michigan is now getting what they want, productivity from the running backs. Doesn't matter who. They'd like it to be one, but it could be all. They're going to be happy.
On the 30th anniversary of his passing, former Michigan radio legend Bob Ufer would have loved to give it one more call of touchdown Michigan.
People choose 5.
We are hearing an awful lot of hail to the victors today at Michigan Stadium. And a comfortable lead for the Wolverines on homecoming weekend here in Ann Arbor. Another capacity crowd, the biggest house in college football. For Purdue, they've also played at Penn State. That's the top 2 in terms of attendance in the nation. And it's been hostile territory. They lost at Penn State, and now they're really up against it here against the Wolverines. Under darkening skies, Hunt out to the 30. Here's Wendy Nix.
Beth, thank you very much. We go back to Lincoln, Michigan State and Nebraska on ESPN. 10-3 right here, but Rex Burkhead, his second touchdown of the afternoon, and Nebraska now leading 17-3 in the third quarter. Beth?
Well, that's welcome news here in Ann Arbor for the Michigan fans who want to get right back in the race for the Big Ten Legends Division lead. A Nebraska win would give them a loss, Michigan State a loss, Michigan and Iowa with 1 loss. And Purdue, the big gainer down the middle, a first down into Michigan territory for Gabe Holmes. Here's the BCS top 10. As we take a look at the standings, brought to you by Tostitos.
Pretty significant drop off there, as you can see.
After Oklahoma State at number 3. This is Caleb Turbush, the quarterback, inside the 10 and hauled down by Floyd at the 5.
You know, I was just going to talk about how they need to up the tempo, and they are at warp speed. They're in their fast jet tempo. They need to score frequently, often, and every time they touch the ball.
He had run for negative yardage today. Prior to that long jaunt, 31 yards. First and goal, Boilermakers. Bolden runs right into Martin and the youngster they're real high on, true freshman Frank Clark, number 57.
Those guys inside, the Purdue coaches talked about the strength and physicality of the front seven, how improved they were, their strength. And they've got to try to run away from those guys or use something like the read option to make them move out of position.
Michigan's going to use a timeout. 11-12 to go in the fourth. Purdue trying to get back into it.
ESPN's college football is presented by 5-Hour Energy, the no-wait, no-hassle way to a great morning. Visit 5hourenergy.com. And in part by Cici's Pizza, where you can enjoy our endless buffet of pizza, salad, pasta, and desserts.
That is a sweet ride right there. The Rocket Man delivering the game ball pregame today.
Maybe that's how we get to the airport after the game. What is that? Just go out. Is there a 2-passenger one of those?
Well, we might need that to beat the crowd. Unfortunately, there's only 30 seconds of fuel in that, so I think maybe that would get us to the Willow Run Airport over here in Ypsilanti, but not to Detroit.
I wouldn't want to run out up in the air. I can tell you that much. I'd fly very low to the ground.
67. 5-yard penalty. It remains second down.
Boy, they had an offensive penalty earlier on a 4th down play, and now here inside the 10, another offensive penalty.
You know, Brady Hoke called the timeout to make sure he had the right personnel group in the game, but also to reemphasize to his team, Michigan doesn't flinch. Doesn't matter what the score is, you're going to play hard and keep them out.
The pitch, Bolden cut down by Jake Ryan, their playmaking linebacker, the redshirt freshman.
Coming off the edge, they like to put his hand down sometimes, and he's a fierce competitor when he comes off the edge. Wouldn't allow himself to be blocked. They just got out, tripped the running back, but they've got a lot of freshmen. They're talking about 5 or 6 freshman guys in this young Michigan defense that are gaining maturity as we watch.
Jake Ryan says, I got your perimeter defense right here, coach. Just 3 linemen on this play. 3rd down and caught inside the 5. And then the gang tackle coming from the defense on Antavian Edison. 4th and goal, Purdue.
And there is absolutely no question about where they go. There's not a question here. This is just what type of play do we call that we like from the 3-yard line right hash. And this is like a 2-point play in a sense. So they probably practiced a play that they want here many, many times this season.
They bring in the fullback, number 33, Pegram, and get Edison out. Siller in motion. The 2 running backs collide. Turbush will have to keep it. Fighting desperately to get to the goal line. And he does not make it. 1st down, Michigan. On what appeared to be a busted play in the backfield.
It's too bad because the running backs were supposed to affect the defense and block. Now Turbush is left on his own. He's not strong enough to overpower the Michigan front.
We are not.
Well, both sides have a 4th and goal stop. And just a second ago, Michigan denying Purdue and Caleb Turbush at the 1. And out of the shadow of their own end zone. In fact, with his feet inside it, Denard Robinson back out there at quarterback. A handoff to Shaw, who scored a touchdown earlier in the quarter. Looking for the edge again. He's got 1st down yardage out to the 15. Let's take a look at today's Dave and Buster's playbook.
And it's Fitzgerald Toussaint. He's the starting running back for one reason. Running backs see holes and feel holes, and they can go inside or outside based on whatever they see and feel. Here you can see him going where outside or inside. He feels he has the speed to get outside, takes it all the way there, beats the coverage. And then here, probably going to go outside. Oh, no, he's not. He's going to cut back inside, set up some blocks, and make additional yardage.
20 carries, a career high 170 yards today for Toussaint, and a couple of touchdowns. Perhaps his day is done now, as they will go to Shaw once again. Gardner in at quarterback. And not sure how much we'll see Denard Robinson here in the final 9 minutes either.
No, because one of the big things, this game is in hand. They want to keep and limit the hits on Denard. This is the second half of the season now, and every game becomes very, very important. So they want to keep their playmakers healthy. There's no need to have them in the game right now. Let the young players play and gain valuable experience in real-time play.
There are the numbers today for Toussaint. 75 in the first half, 95 in the second half, including the long touchdown run, 59 yards. Michael Shaw with another carry. Will Lucas with the tackle.
Purdue is not going to stop playing. One of the things Purdue is talking about on the sideline, the coaches are exhorting them to wrap and strip. The first guy wrapped, the second and third guys in, rip and strip the ball. Conversely, on the Michigan sideline, they're talking about ball security. As Coach Hope has said, the ball is the program. Right now for Michigan, the ball and ball security is the program.
For the third time this year, Michigan over 500 yards of total offense. They had close to 300 in the first half alone. Shaw with the pitch to the outside. It's out of bounds. That'll stop the clock with 7:41 to go.
And Josh Johnson.
5:28 the total today, so add that to the Northwestern and Minnesota wins. It's the third time.
None of those are the best defenses in the conference, so, but still, to get 500 yards anytime is really an accomplishment, and certainly something you can build on for the rest of the season.
4th and 5, and this is the first punt of the day for the Wolverines. Graves Sandy back at his own 31. And gets it out to the 45-yard line. 7:11 to go here at Michigan Stadium at a comfortable Wolverine lead. The DirecTV ESPN drive to the national championship bus. Parked here, Occupy Main Street. It's right off of Main Street here in Ann Arbor. And we had the pleasure of riding over to the stadium. Got caught in a little homecoming traffic on the way over to the game today.
Yeah, but that's a nice ride. If you have to get caught somewhere, I'd like to be in that.
We were watching a little College Game Day on the way over. Robert Marv now in at quarterback for Purdue. Complete to Siller at the 50. 2nd and 5. Where do you suppose the bus and College Game Day will be next week, Mike? I'll give you one guess.
I might guess it could be in Alabama. Maybe one of the biggest games, not just of this year, but of the past 10, 15 years in college football. Two great football teams.
Road trip into Tuscaloosa, but you can see it in Baton Rouge as well. It'll make a stop down on the bayou.
Marv kept the ball, forced out of bounds by Brandon.
The bus is getting on its way down to Ohio State for the Ohio State-Wisconsin game.
Yeah, that should be a great football game. Offense versus defense. Wisconsin, can they come back? How do they feel after that very gut-wrenching loss? And Ohio State, I think, really one of the better defenses and better athletic teams in the conference if they can get their offense on track.
They're at 1-2 in the league, but certainly with the remainder of their schedule still could make some noise. Marv on 3rd down. Frank Clark right in his grill. Let's send it back to the studio. Wendy Nix.
Out of bounds, intended for Crosby right. Covered by Mike Jones. 4th down.
And we apologize for that technical difficulty. We'll work on that for you.
Looks like they're going for it on 4th down, and we talked about you have to get a first down, out of bounds, or touchdowns right now. That's all that matters for Purdue.
Rain is starting to fall again here in Ann Arbor. Marv has the first down yardage caught by O.J. Ross.
You know, it's really fun because now the entire world just became 4-down territory. So wherever we are, doesn't matter, we're going for it. And it actually cuts you loose as a play caller. You sort of go for broke on every play. They're going to have a deep guy going trying to look for the shot, but make sure that you get the first downs or out of bounds.
They'll play the up-tempo as well, and that pass underthrown, intended for Antavian Edison. Going down to the wire in NASCAR, Carl Edwards maintaining that points lead. He's got 4 races left, and the next one tomorrow in Martinsville at 1 Eastern on ESPN. NASCAR Countdown presented by Napa will get your day of auto racing underway. On 2nd and 10. Marv slides by a would-be tackler, complete to Holmes. Inside the 35, a 9-yard pickup, and then a penalty late in the play as, again, the wide receivers and DBs have been tangled up all day long.
And it's unfortunate. I think this can be short. They've stopped the clock because of the penalty, which helps Purdue, but I'm not sure which way the penalty is going to go.
After the play was over, personal foul. Offense, number 6. 15-yard penalty. 3rd down.
This is Gary Bush and the late knock on Floyd. Let's send it back to Wendy Nix.
Beth, thank you very much. And we go back to Lincoln. Again, this game on ESPN. Nebraska up 17-3 over Michigan State. Taylor Martinez to Rex Burkhead. Burkhead's 3rd touchdown this afternoon, 24-3. Sparty in trouble now in the 4th quarter. Beth?
Thank you, Wendy. Nebraska trying to burst the Michigan State bubble after that huge win against Wisconsin at home. Life a little different on the road as Purdue is finding out here, and Marv chased down by Avery and Rowe all the way back at the 35.
We've talked about Greg Madison preferring pressure over coverage. That's a great result. You want to tackle the quarterback inbounds. You like to tackle him for a loss. You want to pressure and take him out of his primary read. He sees the blitz coming, runs away, tries to run over the top. Not fast enough to escape an improving Michigan defense.
And Purdue decides that it is not 4th down territory with 28 to go.
Yeah. Let me change that a little bit.
Gallen tripped up at the 20.
Jeremy Gallen fielded the punt.
Here's a look at some of the other games on the schedule this afternoon and this evening, all building up towards that Stanford USC game. And Shelley Smith was at Southern Cal practice all week long, saying the Trojans are going to bring a little chip on their shoulder into that game tonight.
Well, they're very quiet. They're really a pretty good football team. They don't have a lot of depth, but they've got a great quarterback, and he's been reading all year long about the other quarterback in the league that, you know, I think he'd like to sort of stand on his shoulders and make some plays, make a statement.
Beth Mowins, Mike Bellotti, and Shelley Smith with you here at Michigan today. Purdue scored the first time they had the ball, and it's been all Michigan since. Devin Gardner, he's wrapped up, thrown for a loss of a couple.
One of the good things about this is getting Devin Gardner in the game. They're going to try to run the regular offense, although it'll probably feature a great majority of running plays just to run the clock. But at some point, the offensive coordinator says, Coach, let me cut it loose just a little bit. I want him to get quality experience. So if he is in a either-or pass run situation, he'll be more confident next time we play.
The last 3 years for Michigan, heading into the Michigan State game, they were 15-0. After the Michigan State loss, 3-14. And the last couple of weeks, they have been talking about how they were not, the seniors in particular, were not going to let a similar thing happen to their season this year.
You don't let a team like Michigan State beat you twice. That's the one thing that all coaches understand is you can lose a tough game. You have to make sure then that next game you can rebound for it. The other thing that is good is they've got Ohio State. They've got the countdown clock in the locker room. Talk about it everywhere because everybody knows that is a game that they point to every single year. And it's been 2,000 some days, I believe, since they've tasted victory in that game.
Yeah, without a win over Michigan State or Ohio State. They still can remedy the Ohio State situation. They will play them at the end of the season. And if the score holds, a 7-1 record with 4 games left that you would consider to be winnable ones for Michigan, as Gardner scrambles. Almost lost his jersey to Kawan Short. And one of the longer runs for a 3-yard gain you'll see. But here's what Michigan has coming up.
Every one of those games is going to be tough. They got to go to Iowa, go to Illinois, and then Nebraska and Ohio State. I mean, those are tough football games, but they can win these things. They've got to improve on defense and play more consistently on the offensive side of the ball.
The goal is to win that Legends division and then get into the Big Ten championship game. And what a step that would be in the first year under new head coach Brady Hoke.
Well, Brady Hoke has had success. He understands what it is to build a program. Ball State, San Diego State, he turned those programs around. He's here for a reason. He remembered his last time in Michigan. He wants to bring it back to its former glory.
Michigan,
he was an assistant on that
30 seconds
97 national championship team. And there's been some tumultuous years here in Ann Arbor. 15-22 in the 3 seasons under Rich Rodriguez after Lloyd Carr departed. It's been nearly 3,000 days since they last beat Ohio State back in 2003. And Brady Hoke looks like he's about to start now at 7-1 in his first year with another win here today.
And Brady's going in the right direction. He hired a great staff, a staff that cares about their players, that are teachers first, and I think he really believes in that. And he is a player's coach, as I've said.
Showing his Michigan man toughness today, by the way, in 40 degrees and rain. He's just going with the polo shirt today.
He said he usually wears shorts if they let him.
Maybe he still thinks he's in San Diego. He was at SDSU the last couple of seasons with good success. Grave Sandy with the return for Purdue. Under 2 minutes to go.
Grave Sandy, a dangerous punt returner, has done a nice job today. He's averaged almost a first down every time he touches the ball. Purdue's special teams has been a positive for him this year. Today was not what they wanted in terms of running the football and responding to the challenge of playing Michigan at home.
1st and 10, Purdue.
The throwback screen, and it's dropped by Bolden. A whistle, but it came in late, and finally the officials are saying that's an incomplete pass.
You see, this play, I think he was thinking about going before he caught it. Unfortunately, misses the ball. It's a forward pass, so it's not considered a lateral. Still remains Purdue ball.
Danny Hope's club will have to try and regroup. They had a bit of momentum going after the Illinois upset, as the rain coming down harder now. Won't get any easier, though, at Wisconsin next up for the Boilermakers. These two clubs are seen some sloppy conditions before. We'll take you back to 1995. It was actually Brady Hoke's first year as an assistant, and look at the wind and weather conditions on that particular day. And it was another safety, just like we've seen today.
Yeah, and Rocket Man would not want to be flying on that day, I'll tell you what. He might have missed the whole stadium.
Ended up a 5-0 victory. That was before the days of these beautiful press boxes and luxury suites that they've added here at Michigan Stadium in recent years. We've got a timeout with 1:04 to go.
And the world has reverted back to 4-down territory. That's 4th and makeable, I guess, is what I should say.
And everybody bundling up now against Mother Nature. What else is going on around college football? West Virginia is leaving the Big East. Reports that the Big East now is going to send out invitations to SMU and UCF. And
You know, I think I'm going to stop conjecturing about who's going where. I'm just going to wait till it all settles down, the dust settles. Tell me at the end of the season who's where for next year, because I have a hard time right now following all that stuff.
How about Case Keenum with the 9 touchdowns? Do you think he's going to get a look from an NFL team?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, he is a quality quarterback, pure thrower, accurate, does everything you need.
Marv's pass is intercepted. There's a penalty flag on the play as well. We didn't get a chance to talk about the NCAA reforms on that last graphic, but that's a whole nother issue. And now the tussling continues over on the Purdue sideline.
And the one thing is, Coach, you want to get everybody away. Separate them. Don't go over there. Don't leave the bench. We saw something very ugly in the Pac-12 a couple weeks ago, and you don't want a repeat of that or a review of that. This play, as bad as that pass looked, it may have resulted in a pass interference that got him a first down. I think in a fourth down situation, third down, you wouldn't throw the ball up like that.
Before the interception, holding defense number 8, 10-yard penalty, automatic first down for Purdue.
That situation you referred to, of course, was that UCLA-Arizona game that involved in suspensions for both sides. And here's a replay of that last effort.
Yeah, a mistake. It's sort of a double move route, trying to run up the field. The corner didn't bite to start with, but he did grab the receiver going down the field. So regardless of where that ball is thrown, that's a holding. That's an automatic first down.
Purdue scrambling to get 11 guys on the field. Marv now on first down in the final minute. Bolden bounces to the outside, picks up 8. They were never really able to establish their bread and butter, their running attack, close to 200 yards per game, and not even close to that today. Just 78 on the ground.
And they've had a great 1-2 punch with Bolden and Shavers, and Bolden is the quick guy and Shavers the speed. They never got to the speed because they didn't get enough touches.
Marv out of the pocket, angling for the sideline and a first down. Into the Purdue, the Michigan band over there, stopping the clock with 24 seconds.
Yeah, on the season, Purdue has rushed for 195 yards a game in the top quarter of the FBS schools. Today, only 89 yards. Credit the Michigan defense.
And I know everybody says it when you talk to them. What's the first thing you got to do? We got to run. But at Purdue, with a couple of inexperienced quarterbacks, very critical this year for them.
Absolutely, Beth. You just talked about taking the heat off a young quarterback. Well, that's not a bad way either. Just throw the ball, let the receiver run, and make plays.
Boilermakers will pick up 6 more to O.J. Ross.
Brady Hoke not happy. I'll tell you what, doesn't matter what the score is. When they score, doesn't matter if it's your first team.
Well, how does he still describe himself today? He's still a defensive line coach in a head coach's body and office.
And he does coach. He coaches on the kick return team. He coaches positions because he wants to stay in touch with his players.
36-14 now with 15 seconds to go. Marv to Ross.
This is a nice throw. Got a cushion now, but these are the moves right there. Boom, boom, boom. You got to attack that guy. You can't sit because he has the advantage when he makes those moves. You want to close the curtain, close the net on the receiver. Great block right there to free him up, and he makes some moves to make people miss.
That's still a few starters in there, by the way, including Floyd and Countess, the 2 starting corners that he was able to juke away from.
Well, and they have issues there too with Kovac's out. They don't have a lot of, reserves in the defensive backfield.
The weather right now, summing up the Purdue mood at this point. And a tough day for them after such a bright start. They led 7-0. At one point, they had a huge defensive stop, a 4th down play inside the 5, and a couple of chances to see some momentum, but the offense could never really get it going.
And I think the difference is Michigan was able to convert a turnover to a touchdown and a safety to another field goal. 12 unanswered points right there. Even though Purdue got two turnovers, interceptions, they could not convert them to any kind of points. Another onside kick situation. Two kickers. The overload to the left. Assume the ball is going left.
And it does. And the high hopper snagged by Koger, their starting tight end, who's in there on special teams.
You put the rebounder in that position. Really, the guy that can go up physically and grab the ball with his hands and rip that rebound out of the sky. Koger can do that.
At 6'4", he was able to elevate for that one.
Probably we're going to see the best formation in college football coming up. That's what we call the victory formation. You got the guy way back there, just going to take the ball and take a knee. Coach's favorite formation if you're on the winning side.
Denard Robinson with his shortest run of the day right here. And that'll do it. Michigan, after that tough Michigan State loss and 2 weeks to stew about it, they come back strong. 36-14, the final, as they win homecoming here against Purdue and improve to 7-1. They are 3-1 in the Legends division. If the Nebraska score and the lead over Michigan State holds, at the end of the day, we could see 4 teams with 1 loss in the Legends division. Over 500 yards of total offense today for the Michigan offense, and a stout defense that held the Boilermakers well below their season average in rushing. And now Michigan will enjoy the victory and get set for a road trip to Iowa coming up next. Let's head down to the field now and Shelley Smith.
Okay, Coach, that last drive aside, what does this kind of win mean for your team after the Michigan State loss?
Well, you know, it's good to get back and play football again and to get that taste out of your mouth. And I thought our guys played a pretty good football game. You know, I didn't like the way the first half ended because we got to score points, you know, in those situations. But, you know, I thought our defense played well today. I thought they were aggressive. And, you know, hopefully this is some carryover.
All right, you said before the game you were looking for your standout running back. Where does that stand now?
Well, I don't know. You know, Fitz did a pretty good job today. I liked how he ran the ball, and, you know, but we used a bunch of them, as you know.
All right, thanks so much.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
Fitz did indeed do a really good job. Fitz Toussaint, 20 carries and a career-high 170 yards today with 2 touchdown runs. And a 36-14 final, Michigan winner over Purdue. College football scoreboard presented by Acura. That's coming up next. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Mike Bellotti and Shelley Smith, I'm Beth Moen. So long from Ann Arbor. Now let's get you back to the studio and Wendy Nix.
College football